Welcome back to the Ryoko Show, the podcast that inspires and empowers you to create a life you truly love. And if it's your first time, welcome to the show. It's Halloween today, and whether or not you're celebrating, there is something fun about the idea of the day. It's a time when people put on masks and costumes, pretending to be someone or something else. But here's something to think about. Sometimes we wear masks in every day too, hiding parts of ourselves, seeking approval, or trying to fit in. So today on this Halloween episode, I want to dive into what real freedom means. Now, when you hear that word freedom, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? For a lot of us, we often think things like financial freedom, the ability to travel and live anywhere, or even just the freedom to choose how we spend our days. And let's be honest, all those things are amazing goals, right? Who wouldn't want to have those kinds of options? But here's the thing. Even if we achieve financial or location freedom, does it really make us feel free? Or is there something deeper to the idea of freedom? Something that maybe isn't about our external life at all. Today, I want to explore these questions a bit and introduce a different way of thinking about freedom, one rooted in Zen philosophy. It's a kind of freedom that doesn't necessarily depend on how much money we have or where we live, but instead comes from within. So let's dive in. Why do we crave freedom in the first place? At the heart of it, most of us want freedom because we want to feel in control of our lives. We want to make our own choices without feeling bounded by other people's expectations or life's unpredictable curveballs. But sometimes, even after we achieved what we thought was freedom, like maybe a high-paying job that lets us work from anywhere, we find that we are still not completely happy. And maybe there is still this feeling of being restless or even dependent on things outside ourselves to feel secure. I used to tell my friend, I want freedom, I want more freedom. And my friends back home in Japan are saying, you already have a lot of freedom. At that time, I wasn't sure what I really meant by freedom, but I totally felt like I was lacking the freedom. And today I know what I was missing, what I wanted, the freedom is what I'm going to share with you today. So that's where this Zen concept of freedom comes in. The Japanese word for freedom is jiyu, which is made up of two kanji letters, Chinese letters, and first letter ji means self, and the second letter yu means reason or cause, a place of reliance. So in a sense, freedom in Japanese carries the idea of being guided by one's own will or being reliant on oneself. Essentially, a form of self-direction or self-reliance. This concept aligns perfectly with the Zen interpretation of freedom, which isn't about escaping challenges, but about having the inner strength to rely on yourself. True freedom is being the person you rely on, finding peace and stability within yourself, no matter what's going on around you. When you can rely on yourself, you don't need constant reassurance or approval from others to feel secure or on the right path. Instead, you can trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way, and that is a true freeing feeling. And this kind of freedom, jiyu, is about inner independence and not just external independence. Now let's break down what this kind of freedom really looks like. In Zen philosophy, freedom doesn't mean being completely free of all responsibilities or challenges. Instead, it's about not being controlled by things outside of yourself, whether that's other people's opinion or even your own worries. It's about developing this unshakable trust in yourself. Imagine being able to handle a tough situation while recognizing the blessing or gift that lies within it. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or overly reliant on others for validation, you learn to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Of course, seeking advice can be helpful, but true freedom lies in feeling confident that you can navigate difficulties on your own. You trust your instincts and abilities, knowing you have the inner strength to find meaning and resilience in even the most challenging moments. Let's say you are dealing with a challenging project at work. The Zen view of freedom is that you are not swayed by your fear of messing up, and you are not paralyzed by what others might think if you do. And you just focus on doing your best, trusting that you'll handle whatever happens next. That's the kind of internal freedom that can make life a lot less stressful. So how can we get to this point where we can truly rely on ourselves? Let's talk about 5 simple ways to start building that inner freedom. First, cultivate self-awareness. Spend some time getting to know yourself better. This means understanding your values, your strengths, and even your weaknesses. Self-awareness is the foundation of self-reliance because you can't rely on yourself if you don't really know yourself. This could look like setting aside 5 minutes a day to journal or just reflect on your thoughts and feelings without judgment. 2. Practice self-compassion. Practice being kind to yourself is one of the most important things to do because a lot of us are really hard on ourselves, and it can make us feel like we are always falling short. But true freedom includes the ability to forgive yourself when you mess up. And when you're compassionate toward yourself and accept yourself, you become resilient and you can bounce back from mistakes, which makes you more reliable. Step 3, make small commitments to yourself. Another great way to build trust with yourself is by setting and keeping small promises. It doesn't have to be anything big. You could start with something as simple as I'll drink a glass of water every morning, or I'll spend 10 minutes reading each day. The idea here is that by following through on little things, you're teaching yourself, I can count on me. Step 4, limit external validation. This one might be tough, but notice when you are seeking approval from others and challenge yourself to make decisions independently. This doesn't mean you should never ask for advice, but trust your own judgment first. Remember, building self-reliance is about learning to validate your own choices and instincts. 5, embrace discomfort as growth. Work on embracing discomfort. Nothing great happens in the comfort zone or in the place where you are familiar with. So embrace stepping out of comfort zone and moving into this area that you are not familiar with. This is one of the biggest skills for inner freedom. When you can sit with uncomfortable feelings without rushing to escape them, you become a lot stronger and less reliant on outside factors to make you feel safe. Instead of avoiding things that challenge you, look at them as opportunities to grow. So to wrap it all up, yes, financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom are wonderful goals to have. But in reality, lasting freedom is being able to rely on yourself. It's about trusting your own mind, your own heart, and your own choices. Think of one small way you can start building that self-reliance today. How can you begin to be the person you can rely on? I hope this episode gave you a new perspective on freedom and inspire you to dig a little deeper. And if you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review, and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't already, go to the show notes and grab a free guide to unlock steps to transform your life. Until next time, keep shining.